Hi guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be making a Halloween card. So first of all we're going to make the background for the card, and I've got a piece of Ranger's Mixed Media cardstock here, which is cream, and it comes in 8.5 by 11-inch sheets. So I've cut a piece of that down to fit my card base, which is just a plain white card base. So that's that, and first of all we're going to create the background. So to do that, I'm going to be using some Distress Oxides, and the first one that I'm going to take, where have you gone, is Wild Honey. So let's just pop a little sponge on my blending tool there, and we'll open up Wild Honey. And so using the blending tool, we're just going to pat some of that on the tool. Let's get a bit more, and I'm going to start from the middle and work my way out. Just go in circular motions and just blend that colour. Take a bit more. So I want this sort of orangey yellow in the middle to kind of be a halo effect. So we're going to get darker as we go towards the edge of the paper. Okay, so that's the first one. Let's put that down. And then the next one I'm going to take is Spiced Marmalade. Let's move Wild Honey. I'm going to change my pad on my blending tool, and we'll pick up some Spiced Marmalade and start going around the edge with that first colour. Now I'm really sorry if you can see my table shaking while I'm doing this. My leg's wobbly for some reason, and I haven't fixed it. So start working that in. Really don't worry about having any sort of, dark marks or rings anywhere, because once we've blended this in with a bit of water, it's going to look absolutely fine. Okay, so there's our Spiced Marmalade. So let's take my little sponge off there. And then the next one that I'm going to go in with, which sounds very strange because you shouldn't really put purple and orange together, but I think it's going to look cool, is Seedless Preserves. So let's put my little sponge on. And with this one, I'm going to start from the corners and work it inwards this time, blending it into the orange there. So we've got some really nice pigment at the outer corners and getting lighter towards the orange. Okay, so there's the purple all blended out. Let's put that one away. And now we're going to take some black soot, and that's just going to go on the very edges just to darken up our purple a bit. Oh, silly me, put it the wrong way around. And I'm only taking a little bit of that on the edge and just really only working it right onto the very edges of the card. I don't want it to be completely saturated here. Okay, so there is our background. So as you can see now, that yellow in the centre really stands out as a nice lighter area, sort of like a moody Halloweeny sky. So let's pop those oxides away, and then the next thing I'm going to do is just spritz some water in a water bottle. Oh, why aren't you working? You're locked. I'm just going to lightly spritz some water so that the inks do their work, and then I'm just going to leave that to dry for a minute. Okay, so there's our background dry, and we've got some lovely speckle marks going on there and that beautiful chalky finish that Distress Oxide gives. So I'm going to set that aside for now, and I'm going to be using 3 die cuts today. So the first one is from Marianne Designs, and it's just a simple branch wreath, so I'm going to be using that. The second one is from Holtz, and it's called, what's it called? Witchcraft. So all I'm going to be using from this one is the little tiny stars. And the third one again is from Holtz, and this is all little cute Halloween-y figures, and it's called Mini Halloween Things. So I'm going to go ahead and use my big shot machine, and this one I'm going to cut out on black card. The little stars I'm going to cut out on black card, and then the little mini things I'm going to cut out in white and black. So I'll go and cut those out, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so all those little bits and pieces are cut out now. So I'm going to start off with this wreath and the little branches. I did cut 2 lots of the branches out because I didn't know how many I'd actually want. So that's those. So now I'm going to use a VersaMark Watermark stamp pad, which is a clear stamp pad, and it just acts like an adhesive of sorts for your embossing powder to stick to. So I'm going to take the wreath and I'm just going to press it into the ink pad. This is a new one, so it's really sticky. And press it all the way around, getting all those little bits and pieces covered. And I'll just check to make sure I've done the whole thing. Yep. So I'm going to put that in my little tidy tray here. And now I'm using this pot. Hope you can see it. It's a very glittery black colour, like that. And this is Cosmic Shimmer embossing powder, and it's in the colour Black Sparkle. So let's just put that aside before I get it ruined. And I'm just going to cover my my little wreath in this. Making sure it all gets a good coating. And then let's just pick him up, put it to give him a tap, make sure you get all the excess off. And then I'm going to tip that back in to my pot. Like so. And then I'm going to do the same thing with all the little branches, and I'm going to go ahead and heat that up with the heat tool and melt the embossing powder. Okay, so the wreath and the branches are all looking nice and sparkly now, and I've put together my little people, which was extremely fiddly because I had to glue the little eyes and wings etc. on. And for that I used some Tombow liquid mono glue, and I suggest you use a pair of tweezers to hold the pieces because they are extremely small and extremely fiddly. So next thing I'm going to do is just give a bit of colour to a few of these, and I'm going to use the Distress Oxide that we used earlier just to add that colour in. So for the pumpkin we're going to take the spiced marmalade again. Let's just zoom you in a little closer so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. Right, so we're going to take the spiced marmalade, and I'm using a little tiny brush here, very small. I'm just dipping that straight onto the pad, picking up some colour and applying that straight on. Okay, so back to our base, and the first thing I'm going to do is just plan out where I want everything. So I want to leave some room underneath this wreath so that we can have a sentiment across the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and, using my Tombow liquid glue again, I'm going to stick down the wreath and the branches first. And I like this glue because it has a nice fine nozzle, so you can be quite precise with where you place it. And then let's lay it down. There we go. Now you are going to get some seepage, you can't help that because it's so fine, but it minimises a lot of seepage when you only put a little bit of glue on. And some of that can be covered up with the little figures anyway. So let's add my branches. Okay, so there's all the little branches added on, and now I'm going to start attaching the little people, and I'm going to be using some foam tape to stick on the back of those. Right, so all those little guys are stuck down now, so I'm going to add my sentiment, and I've got a set of stamps from Stampendous here, and these are all lovely spooky sentiments. This is called Spooky Wishes. So I think this, I'm going to go for this bottom one here, which says "Come as you aren't." So let's pop that out. I'm going to attach this to my acrylic block so I can get it nice and straight. There we go. And then let's just check the position of that. Yeah, so we're going to go there. Right, so I'm going to stamp that up with my VersaMark Inkpad again. Make sure it's nice and covered. And then I'm just going to get this in line. Push it down. There we go. And I don't know whether you can see that, but there's my VersaMark ink. Right, now once again we're going to go back to that Cosmic Shimmer embossing powder, and I'm going to lean this in the tray, give it a good covering. There we go. And then I'm just going to go and quickly use my heat gun and get that embossed. Okay, so our sentiment's all done. So now I'm just going to go and add some of those little stars that I die cut earlier. And again, I'm using my mono liquid glue. Just putting a dot on the back. And then just adding a few in place. Okay, so now that those stars are on, I'm going to start making my base and attaching everything together. So my card is just a white card base, and then I've got a black piece of card to lay out on the top of that. Now where we've got that white border around the edge, I'm going to use some Tim Holtz Ideology design tape, and this is Halloween. So we're going to pop that out, and I'm taking the sparkly orange one. And I'm just going to apply a piece around each edge of the white base. Okay, so that's all edged now. So I'm going to start sticking everything together. And I'm just going to attach my black base on there. I'm just using a glue roller pen here. That's where it's going now. I'm just trying to make sure I've got an even edge of the orange sparkly tape showing around it, which I have. Get some of that glitter there. Okay, and then I'm going to do exactly the same on here. Pop that down. There we go. Okay, so there's our card pretty much finished, but to finish this off, because I can't leave things alone, I'm just going to add some glossy accents from Ranger to the eyes and bits and pieces like that, just to make them pop a little bit. Okay, so now that glossy accents is dry, and here is the finished card. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, then please don't forget to like and subscribe down below, as that lets me know that you enjoy my videos and you want to see more. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!